Welcome to the live stream. Hopefully everything's working. We're using a mic here. How's the audio level? Just test that out just a little bit. So we need a response, but hopefully everybody can hear us just fine, and should be going good. We are in Colorado Springs. We're in our hotel room, so not a lot of light. So we're getting hopefully
sound is good.
Okay, everything's good.
Everything's good.
Okay, so anyway, hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Of course, we're doing this live on YouTube, of course, but you can also listen to the podcast. So you might be listening to the podcast. If you are, great. But if you're not, you want to do that instead, you can go over to any of the different podcasting platforms. And of course, or you can, if you're on the podcast, you want to watch it live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. This one will be live, including next week. So that is a change. I'm going back to what I said because I thought I was going to be flying into Detroit next week. But Ford has revealed now, or doing the F-150 reveal Tuesday night. So we're actually going to be flying in the afternoon, going to the reveal. And I think the reveal should be over in time, since they're Eastern time zone, in time to be able to do the live stream so we can share our findings and the content with you guys next Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Right after the reveal.
Tell me what's going on.
Yeah. There you go. So we're going to try that, see how that goes. Anyway, other than that, let's see what else we got here. Going for my notes on my phone here.
Now, if my click-clacking is too loud tonight, please let me know. I'll move over to my phone when I need to type.
Oh, because it's right by the... We can move the mic if we need to.
Well, I don't want to do that. So if I need to, I'll click-clack on my phone. So
we'll see. Oh, yeah, because we don't have our other mics.
Nope.
This is the one that caused... This mic is the one that caused the issues.
The need for the directional mics. This is the one that... doesn't like my click-clack.
I'll just go like this. All right. Anyway, because that's usually when you do that. So I can just I'll move it over here, and then when you're ready to talk, I'll move back. All right. Anyway, well, thank you guys for joining us. And why are we in Colorado Springs? If you don't watch a live stream regularly each week, you'll probably wonder, why are we in Colorado Springs? And we are actually on our way to Bronco Super Celebration, Colorado, which is in Buena Vista, Colorado. But the reason we want to stop over here was, for one, to be here for the live stream, but also we want to go to Pikes Peak tomorrow on the way there. So we're going to take an extra day since Bronco Supercell starts tomorrow.
I haven't been to Pikes Peak since I was a little kid. I don't know, grade school age was Grandma and Grandpa?
I don't know.
I think grade school age was Grandma and Grandpa. I barely remember it.
All I know is the last time that the family came, I didn't come along. I don't think you were there either.
No.
That
was after Lebo and I got married, and so we weren't taking family vacations after that.
Yep, that was a visit that she came for the spina bifida clinic for Jaden, because that's who did the surgery for Jaden. Anyway, so they went to Pikes Peak the first year up there, and in a Lincoln Aviator, and she
had problem with her brakes.
She was not that. She was really concerned. So anyway, so she had somebody drive the Aviator back down the mountain. Anyway, so I told her we were going up. She goes, "Don't take the Bronco up there." I said, "I think we'll be fine." So anyway, we're going. It'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll hit Pikes Peak and then on over to the Bronco Supercell. So, and it'll be a blast. Looking forward to that. And so we're camping and everything. So had to stop over at REI today because I'd forgotten that, and I'm glad I set up the tent yesterday and let it air out and everything at home.
Otherwise, we would have gotten.
Because I forgot one of the tent poles was broken, so one of the little limbs broke. So stopped at REI to get a didn't know they had a tent pole splint. Didn't know they made those, but I got one. Now. Yeah, I do now. I got one, and I bought two.
Yeah, well, they have two different sizes.
Two different sizes, but I think I need the smaller one. But I got both sizes to get the right one.
Just
anyway,
in case.
Yes. Otherwise, we'll be
no
sleeping.
Need to throw away your tent with broken poles. They now make splints for them.
That's right. We get the Bronco to sleep in if we really have to, so we're good to go. But anyway, so that'll be fun. So let's see what else. Yeah, we're gonna do some trail riding, not tomorrow, but some other days. So we'll have a lot of fun with Bronco Nation.
Yep.
With them, we'll hang out with them, and might be on their live stream. They're doing a live stream Thursday night on the Bronco Nation's YouTube channel, which should be down in the description. I usually mentioned those were supporter of their channel. So it should be down there. And they said they were wanting people on the live stream. So we'll see if we'll be on there Thursday night, 7 p.m. They do their 7 o'clock as well. So
yes,
there you go. So check that out. Even if we're not on there, check it out because it's always fun. And they'll talk about stuff from the trail ride that day and everything on Thursday. So anyway, that'll be a blast. All right. Otherwise, I guess we do the membership thing, huh? We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So you want to tell them how to become a member?
Yeah.
We have membership available.
You didn't do the member.
Oh, right there.
Intro.
I do that later. We do that later.
Oh, okay. If you would like to join, hit that join button besides that subscribe button. If you're an iPhone user or Apple user, you have to do things differently. You have to go to your web browser, go up to the top in the link by the little A and big A, hit request desktop browser, and you should be able to see it at that point. Something about the app costing money to have that join button on there.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think it was the money.
I think just Apple wants to do things their way, but that's just me. But if you do become a member, you'll find all the membership content under the membership section. All the videos and photos and stuff like that are located there.
Yes.
Community tab is going to be stuff for members as well as if we do anything publicly. Both will be under the community tab. But we do 2 videos a week at least. We do a member live stream on Friday afternoons, 4 o'clock Central.
Yeah.
And I don't know about this week. And then on Saturdays I do a lot walk video, and usually it comes out in the afternoon on Saturday. So that'll probably be done at Bronco Supercell this week, like we did in Wisconsin for members. So anyway,
timed entry points. That's something to look into.
What's going on?
Pike Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Timed entry permits. What's that mean?
I'll probably have to need to get a permit to go up.
Well, I'll look into that tonight.
All right. Okay. Love our members and those in here that give us all the highlights of different things.
That was bowls.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of that, you want to highlight some of the. Also, we like to do is highlight our members.
Yes.
So.
Take a drink now. So this is Vols, longtime member. Taking vehicle breaks, stopping on the way down Pike Peak is so important. Timed entry permits are also a concern. So,
what if I'm in manual mode and I downshift down there? Would that help the brakes?
I don't know.
Because usually it's because you're holding the brakes the whole way down, and so it's hard on your brakes, and they get hot and everything, and then they will get to where they won't work. So I'm wondering if I actually manual mode and I downshift down, would that help?
Yeah. We have Spexinator here saying driving and listening. So I know that your commute has, you are 2 hours behind our 7 o'clock time. So it's probably 5 o'clock for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're driving home from work. So let's see. I had some up here. I had a couple of members telling me happy birthday. Actually, happy belated birthday. That was yesterday.
1 year, member.
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Yes. We have some that are 2 years.
Yep.
That would be Richview, our moderator. Does a great job at inviting everyone in and helping me moderate the channel or the chat while I'm not paying attention. Yep. Richard Peters says, howdy y'all. My one sister and her family live right there in Colorado Springs. Enjoy. We have been. We walked down
Old Colorado City.
Yeah, Old Colorado City.
Shopping area.
Yeah.
Basically. Souvenirs, shops, and restaurants.
Yeah, basically.
We didn't hit any restaurants. We're going to go out to eat after this. So we might make this an hour and a half or 2 hours.
We might.
We're going to cap it at 2. Because we're going to get something to eat.
Cut it.
We haven't eaten yet. So.
Hey.
All right.
Well, Lemo's in here.
Thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah. He's like, I was like, do you want me to bring anything back? You safely home. Got it.
So we'll take stops. So evidently there must be every so often some
there's pull
offs. So we'll take pull offs and take pictures, and then we'll see.
Marine Vet says Dad is right. Downshifting and compression braking is the way to go on steep downhill grades.
So you can like downshift.
Yeah,
that was one of the things I used to say when I talked about the manual mode, and that you can actually, it's great to be able to use that to downshift when you're going down mountains and hills and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't have a manual transmission, so we don't have hill descent control.
Yes.
See some of these things that I talk about in the meet and a lot of my videos. I feel redundant because I talk about them all the time, but here's some features and why they're a benefit. So hill start assist going up the hill, which is standard on the Bronco. Hill descent control only on the manuals is, but anyway.
Yeah. So we also have Niles in here. He is no longer an honorary member. He is a member now. He's one of our moderators and one of the employees at McArthur that handles aftermarket. So any aftermarket questions, do at Niles Gridley, and he will answer that.
Yep. All right. What else we got?
James Briery. Let me pull up his. The new member packet showed up today. Thank you. Yes, I got those done while he was working on a video on Friday. Ripping tape off. It's like, are you done? Just about.
All right. What else we got?
We have Ray Ann here. We have MM. I know she's getting excited about her Bronco.
Yep. Is that production date this week? I think it is. Right?
Yes, I think it was actually supposed to start yesterday or today.
Yeah. Because I think originally it was on your birthday, and then I think it changed to the 5th.
Yeah, they probably were like, oh, wait, that's Memorial or Labor Day. We probably shouldn't be planning builds on Labor Day.
Yeah, because they were, we'll talk about that later. They were parading yesterday.
If you are a member and have not gotten your new member packet, that's probably because you haven't emailed me with your information. If you have, email me again. Maybe it went to my spam folder or something. I try and check that once a week, but
we are shifting over to using McArthur
yes.
and everything. So, all right. Ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay. Videos from this week. We worked really hard last week on videos, so we've completed all of the 24 Bronco Complete Guide videos. We cover the standard equipment and different optional equipment. So we finished out the Bronco Badlands, the Everglades, the Wiltrak, the Raptor, and we got our Heritage Limited Edition in on Friday evening. They got it set up, and I was able to do a video on it. I wasn't planning to do a video on the Heritage Limited Edition because those you really can't. Like, the dealer just gets it. They don't choose whether they want 2-door or 4-door. It's just what they get. So it's really like out there, you won't really be able to like select. You're going to need to find one unless a dealer says, yeah, you can have this one that comes in for us. But again, you can't choose 2-door or 4-door. Once it's put into the system, you should be able to make some changes. You should be able to maybe add some things to it. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I did a walk around on ours, what was included in everything on Sunday. That went live on Sunday. So you got a bonus, actually 2 bonus videos this week, Raptor and Heritage Limited Edition, and got a Labor Day video on my Maverick. My Maverick. So that video went live yesterday. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, the Maverick Ford Video Guy video, that went live yesterday as well. And then we do have and then coming up this week, we do have, even though we're here, I have scheduled out some videos. Worked really hard to have these videos edited and ready while I was gone. I even had to work pretty much all day Saturday to get that achieved. We have RTR Mustang, RTR Bronco, RTR Bronco Sport videos as well. Oh, no, not that one. So those 3 will go live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So be looking for those videos, 6 p.m. Central Time, each of those 3 nights. So those are already scheduled out for you. So there we go. And if you want, I'm pointing this out. So a little bit of plug here, and maybe I normally would do this with my members, but my grandson Jaden is in Cub Scouts. He's in kindergarten. He's in Cub Scouts, and he's got a fundraiser coming. So I'll post the link in the community section after this video, after the live stream. So if you guys want to donate, the one I really like is, it was really cool that you can do, popcorn, candy, all this kind of stuff. But one of them is you can actually donate to the military. So you can do a $25 donation or a $50 donation, and it sends the popcorn to the military, and then the Cubs, the troop gets benefit from the fundraiser. So it's like like for me, I don't like popcorn and such. So I can say, well, you know what? I want them to have the popcorn. So you get the popcorn and sent to somebody in the military,
probably deployed.
Yeah. And then that way I get to support and do a donation without getting any food.
Yep.
But that's okay, because half the time when I do a donation, I don't like. Sometimes I get the ones in the local high school, and it's that card. Hey, you can go to all these places and get discounts. You know what? I forget I even have the card, and I purchase it, so I never use it. So I'm just donating for the good cause.
Half the time, that's what happens.
Anyway, so I'll put that link in the description. I forgot to do that before the video, so we'll do that. I'll put it in the description, as well as for those that watch this video not live, watch it recorded, as well as we'll put it in the community section as well. All right. I think that's it. Good dealer highlight.
All right.
Now I got to find it. So thanks to I love our members. This is Mike McArthur. He actually found this on one of the Maverick Facebook groups. Someone had picked up their Maverick and told about their experience. So I will go through this. This is Kennedy Ford in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania. So it says, I picked up my 23. You want to read it?
Are you sure?
You want to? If you want.
I mean, I can't.
I talk all the time, so that's why I have her do that. It's because I'm like, okay, I talk all the time. So.
All right. The window sticker was $1,700 higher than the order price from last September. The truck did not have the rear sliding window or Maverick rubber floor mats I ordered, but it had the Ford 360 option that I didn't order. My salesperson was not sure what to do about the price. Lucky for me, the sales manager, Rob, was available. After we reviewed my order form, they adjusted the price. Rob stated the $650 added cost for the Ford 360 option he can't remove, but he would deduct $155 for the rear window and order the mats at no extra charge. The truck cost $495 more than the order price with the additional option. I feel the dealership was very fair with me on the price of the truck. We could not agree on the Ford extended warranty, 8 years, 100,000 miles. Their price was $2,900. I informed their sales rep I could buy the warranty from other Ford dealers online for much less. They would not move off their price. I purchased my warranty from Flood Ford online. I called to speak with a sales rep who answered my questions and concerns. My cost as follows: 8 years, 100,000 miles equals $1,210. Key service $70. Light bulb $70.
There you go. So I actually, so good dealer in the sense that they try to make everything right with them on that. But here's what I think happens: $1,700. So as a breakdown, if you take the $650 package out, then you're right around $11 or $1,000, about $1,000. Probably what happened is that $1,495 is probably a spray and liner. That'd be my take on it, that they probably didn't notice on there. And then the other $500 is the price increase that they probably forgot about and didn't deduct for the price increase. But it sounds like they threw in some stuff and the customer's happy. But anyway, so there you go. So again, manager stepped in. So if you're ever having some issues, always ask for a manager. That's a great way to go with that. So anyway, okay. So good dealer moment. All right. So get into scheduling notes. So get going on that there. All right, I'm going to have to pull up my screen so we won't be able to see ourselves for a little bit.
Okay.
That probably won't hurt your feelings. All right, so scheduling information for this week. Now, remember, we are still using allocations from August. So we're still doing August allocations are still going on for this week. Typically happens when I have another month. It's usually the second full week of the month is when the September's allocations take effect. So this is all still based on any allocations they would have had for August. So keep that in mind. Oh, wait. Forgot something. Let's go over this.
What? Okay.
All right, so let's go over this just as a reminder. Order bank means that's where orders are placed, whether it be a stock or retail order. Retail order is a customer placed order, which is what you guys have if you're watching this. Stock order is what a dealer puts in for stock inventory. Like right now, we're actually looking for lightning retail orders because we have allocations next month, and we have to put some. We had to put some stock orders in today for lightnings, because we're afraid we're going to get some. We won't get those. We need to use those allocations. Priority codes that a dealer chooses the retail priority codes as well as stock priority codes. They could be anywhere from a 03 now to 19, and then stock ones are 20 to 80. The lower, the better, of course. So that way, if you have a retail one, retails will always look at before a stock because the number is lower than the stock, which starts at 20. Scheduling, which is what we're talking about here, we're about ready to talk about. That's when Ford schedules an order that's in the order bank for production dates in the future months. So we'll talk about when, like, for example, Mustang is scheduling for the month of October this week. So we'll talk about that. So it's always a day in the futures. Production dates, a lot of times you'll get either scheduled to you'll hear scheduled the week, maybe you'll hear scheduled to the day. That's when Ford plans to build your vehicle or your order specification. Allocation, that is Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. So if a dealer earns an allocation based on what they sell on the prior month or what they sell in the last year, based on information year to date, or a revolving last 12 months based on the number on the 20th of each month. So dealers earn those allocations by their how they rank within the region as well. And so there has to be an allocation for your order to be able to be selected. So like this week, we do not have any Maverick allocations, so we will not have any get scheduled. So constraints, options that may be in short supply or take longer to build, so they can't build as many, would be a constraint. Capacity is the production capacity. So if we say they're going to build 50% hybrid on the Maverick, then there's your capacity of how many orders can be built or be scheduled with that on there. And then job 1 and 2, they usually split the year into 2 jobs. Job 1 is the launch of the new year. Job 2, if they need to make any drastic changes or something because of capacity or supply issues, or maybe they just notice they can do something better, they'll make those changes for the second half of the year, and they call that job 2. And then balance out is when they're finishing out production and scheduling for the end of production for the model year. Like they've already ended production for the Maverick. So they balanced out the Maverick for 23. Mm-hmm. They're moving on to 24 now at this point. That's what they're scheduling for. All right. So going back, what were you going to say?
About what?
You were going to say something when I pulled that up. No.
Oh, that wasn't showing up.
Slide. Should have. It didn't at first.
It's not. That's not showing.
Oh, should. Scroll back.
I'm live right now.
Yep. See, it showed.
Okay, that one is showing.
Yes.
But that one is not.
No, it's not.
Oh.
This is my information.
Okay.
I don't want them to see that because I can't show them that.
That's right. Okay. I'm making sure that the right
I'm using that.
Are being shown.
Yes, I'm using that because I don't have it on here on my phone. So
okay.
I'm using it there instead.
Okay. I'm just making sure what needs to be shown is being shown.
Yes. Nope. This is this is over here. This is not being shown. Okay.
Okay.
So get into scheduling first for the Mustang 24 model year Mustang is cleanup scheduling, and cleanup means that if a dealer has an allocation, they want to clean up that allocation so they don't get carried over to the next month. They don't want to carry any unfulfilled allocations from one month to the next. So they call it cleaning up your scheduling for any allocations. And then they want dealers need to go in there. If you don't have any retail orders that would fit what they're looking for, then you need to get some stock orders in there, basically. So they are scheduling for the weeks in October 2nd to the weeks of October 23rd. So that's how I said that, they do that in the future. Dark horse retail orders should be prioritized ahead of stock orders. So basically what they're saying is if you have a customer who wants to put a dark horse in, make sure that you're using those retail orders for your allocations instead of a stock one. Makes sense. Retail only option is the 5.0 liter GT performance package. That is only available for a retail order. Dealers cannot order those for stock. That's a bummer. Exhausted availability is the optional wheel for the premium EcoBoost and the premium GT, and that is that option 64M. That's a 20 inch by 9 inch premium painted aluminum wheel. Another option that's exhausted availability, which means more than likely won't schedule any, is the Dark Horse handling package. And then also the Mustang Night Pony package. And it does say here, due to limited capacity on the black painted roof. Dealers should consider removing this option on their stock orders if you need to get any allocation scheduled. So, all right. And order banks are open up right now for the 24 Mustang. So if you want to put an order in, you can. All right. There's, 23 Escape. So that is not scheduling this week. And I don't think it's scheduling next month, but we'll get into that later. So there you go. We're going to talk about order bank close. Well, actually, that one was not one of them, but order banks are open up right now for 24 model year for both gas and plug-in hybrid right now. 24 model year Bronco Sport. It is cleanup scheduling this week for 24 model year. So don't forget about that. For weeks in October 16th through the weeks of October 30th. Limit availability on the tech package, which is optional on the Outer Banks, that 96D option. Exhausted availability for the convenience package, which is 96B on the Big Ben and the free will. The free will is not scheduling anyway, so I don't know why that's in there. And then also the exhausted availability on the premium package. It's in the Badlands. So all your optional packages, pretty much, just don't put them. Hopefully you don't have those on your order. If so, you might need to wait until next month's allocations. Also, front and rear splash guards, which again, I say leave your accessories off, except for that cargo management system. If you want that shelf divider, make sure you put that on. Late availability is your black appearance package and your freewheeling series. So those are not available yet. And then order banks are open up for 24 model year for the Bronco Sport right now. So let's see here. 24 Edge is not scheduling this week. There you go. So, and we're going to talk about ST in just a little bit, but order banks are open up right now for that. And this is the last year for the Edge. So if you're wanting an Edge.
24 Escapes are already at the dealerships.
24 Escapes?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
No?
Nope. Not possible. They haven't even scheduled for 24 Escape yet.
I'm thinking 23.
23, yes. Yes, we have a bunch. We actually sold 6 or 8 of those last month.
Yeah.
So. All right, 23 model year Bronco. They are scheduling for production weeks in October, the weeks of October 2nd through October 23rd. Of course, we already know. Well, anyway, actually, I'll just skip some of these lines because we know that stuff. What's not available on 23 because order banks are not open anymore for retail orders for 23. Stock orders are open for 23 model year. If a dealer has an allocation and they don't have any retail orders, they could put a stock order for some of these customers if they wanted to. All right. 2-door Heritage and Heritage Limited delayed for production and delayed on scheduling right now. We've talked about that already. It says also they are not allowing for 2-door Heritage and Heritage Limited orders as well for 24 model year right now. Cannot put those in. And then also restriction on the shadow black paint on any non-Raptors. So only Raptor can put the black paint color and be scheduled. So if you have black on your vehicle and it's not scheduled, that's why you need to switch colors or put in a 24 model year order at this point. Limited availability for the hardtop. We're talking the 4-door hardtop is very exhausted. Heritage Standard Series says is limited availability and Raptor limited availability. Best configuration right now available: 2-door Wiltrak, 2-door Badlands, 2-door Outer Banks. I didn't think I'd ever hear that. 2-door Wiltrak, Badlands, or Outer Banks is the best configuration available right now. Exhaust availability on the Big Ben, believe it or not. Heritage Unlimited we knew about, and also 5-door hardtops. So if you got a cloth top order out there and you have a 2-door Wiltrak Badlands Outer Banks, you're probably looking good. Probably if you do a cloth top Wiltrak or Badlands or Outer Banks, you're probably okay as well. But there we go. No mentioning of deluxe package and stuff like that. And also no mention of Sasquatch. So there you go. Order banks are open up for 24 with the exception of 2-door Heritage and Heritage Unlimited. All right. 23 Explorer, cleanup scheduling this week for production weeks, the weeks of October 2nd through the week of October 23rd. So it could be scheduled any of those weeks in there. That's important. Okay. Let me read this first because I want to talk about some things. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. There you go. Yeah, I'll read that stuff later. I didn't read this ahead of time, so sorry. All right. Don't forget to add the 360-degree camera removal option. That's 60x onto anything with a 360 camera. Base 100A are for retail orders only. I wouldn't be surprised in 23 we see that go away completely. See, limited availability is option 99B, which is your 3.3 liter engine. Also limited availability for base. The limited version, just the base limited. Also 4-wheel drive is limited availability. XLT Sport Appearance Package, the Class 4 trailer tow package, as well as the twin panel roof. All those are limited availability. So they'll schedule some, but not very many. And then exhausted availability, which you probably won't see these scheduled, is your ST line and your ST high performance package. So there you go. So stock orders are open right now for 23 Explorer, but retail orders are not. They're closed. All right. And we'll talk about, we'll talk about 23 model year order bank closing here in a second. 24 Ranger, no scheduling this week, and they're not scheduling next month as well. So there you go. So really, I mean, none of these restrictions really matter anyway. Order banks are open up right now for 24 model year Ranger. And then don't forget, you need to, if you have an FX4 package, you need to add your running boards. So
whether it be a sport. Someone asked the question about that.
What?
There you go.
About the running board on the Ranger?
Ranger FX4.
Yes. If you have an FX4 Ranger, you have to add a running board. So if you have the Chrome appearance package, you got to add the Chrome boards, which is 18E. If you have the Sport appearance package, which is standard on your Rangers this year, then you need to add option 18D. If you have the FX4 off-road package, it requires a running board. There you go. Don't know why. Just you are. 24 Maverick. Cleanup scheduling for the weeks of October 16th through October 30th. Exhaust availability in the splash guards and your hard trifold bed cover. I don't know why you'd have any of these on there. If you've been watching my videos, you know how I feel about those. Take those accessories off of your orders, especially the tonneau covers, splash guards at a very small number that get scheduled. And then retail order banks are open up for 24 Maverick. Don't forget, they are scheduling at 50%. And next month, which I think is starting of next week, it'll be 52% hybrid, 48% EcoBoost.
Yep.
Crazy. 24 model year Expedition, no scheduling this week. Just a note in there, if you do have an order in on a Platinum, that you make sure that it has the optional 22-inch wheel. Also make sure that you you add option 88R, which is to remove the multi-contoured seats. Again, still having chip issues with those multi-contoured seats on Expedition. Let's see what else. Order banks are open up for 24 Expedition. 24 Super Duty. We're startup scheduling is happening this week. It looks like. Thought maybe that was going to start next week, but it looks like it's starting up this week. The constraints are smaller. That's good. Okay, so this won't take as long. It says, Anyway, okay. So it says limited availability options. Actually says exhaustive availability unlimited still, and limited availability on the F550. So keep that in mind as we start with 24 model year. Limited availability for the 20-inch chrome wheel on your single wheel only. That's option 649. Probably part of the chrome package on the Lariat, I'd assume. Also, the 193-inch wheelbase that's optional on your XL and XLT at 450, 550, and 600 chassis cabs are limited. And then also the transfer case that is standard on the F600 4x4s with the gas and diesel engines, and the 93-inch wheelbase or 205-inch wheelbase chassis cabs. That's that transfer case. So that is limited, as well as the low running frame, which is optional on the F450, F550 with all diesel engines, or the 7.3 gas with the 179-inch wheelbase. So still some issues there. Now, there are a couple options that are exhausted still already at the launch that were probably carried over from last model year, and that is option 64C, the 18-inch bright machine in carbonized gray painted wheel, which is standard on the Lariat, is exhausted. The 4x2 Dana axle, the option that is optional on the F450, F550, F600 with a dually and 4x4 pickup or two-wheel drive chassis cabs. And then the Dana axle M315 rear that is optional on the F350, 450, 600 dualies with the diesel 6.7 diesel engine. And then the 205-inch wheelbase, which is optional on the XL and XLT chassis, is exhausted. Heavy-duty alternator, which is standard on the XL gas, that is also exhausted. So you should think about replacing it with one of the other alternators. And then also option 15K, the fifth wheel hitch kit. Right? It's not optional on the F250 and 350 King Ranch Platinum and Limited. So those are standard on those, but there you go. So not as many as we've seen in the past, but still. And order banks are open up on the 24 Super Duty, of course. 23 F-150, they are scheduled this week for the weeks of October 16th and October 23rd. I'll talk about order bank closing in a second. They are closing this week. Dealers will have the ability to submit restock orders. No other constraints. Oh, powertrain types. Your hybrid gas will no longer be. Okay. No, we'll talk about that in a second. So, all right. Order banks will be closing soon, and we'll talk a little bit about 24 here in just a second. 23 model year F-150 Lightning. They are scheduled for the weeks of 10/16 and 10/23 as well. Those 2 weeks. Order banks are open up on the 23 F-150 Lightning. In fact, we are looking for orders. So if you want to order, we have a special going on right now that I put out on different forums and social media that I'm going to clue in to everybody else and make it available. So we have 20 allocations for the Lightning this next week. It's going to start next week. It may start this week. Actually, we have 6 that could schedule this week.
Yeah.
So we have 6 allocations for this week plus another 20 next month. So we have 26 Lightnings that could get scheduled. So because of that, we're offering $2,500 below MSRP on an XLT order and $5,000 below MSRP on a Lariat or Platinum order. So you can order online, choose us as your dealer, and we'll do that deal. So if you want to email us first just to make sure that's all legit, we can do that. You can email me, tbart@lawmacarthur.com, and we'll get that. Of course, I'll be here, so I'm not answering a lot of emails, or you can just place that order and you're going to get that deal. So we've already let the sales guys know that's a deal going on. Pretty good deal for you. And the shipping deal we have for YouTube is still in place as well on top of that. So if you want it shipped to your door, you finance at standard rates. There's actually better rates right now, so I don't really advertise that too much because you might want to take the great rates because, again, don't forget, you order now, you lock in incentives of when you ordered. So right now it's like 3.9% for 60 months, which is a pretty good deal on the Lightning. So you might take that instead of our free shipping, and it might save you more money than that. And just come pick up your vehicle. And so anyway, so there you go. That offer's out there. 23 Mustang Mach-E No scheduling this week. Order banks are open for retail and stock orders, except for a stock Route 1. 23 model year Transit Connect van is scheduling for the weeks of October 2nd through the weeks of October 23rd. No constraints. Order banks are closed, and this is the end of Transit Connect. Transit Connect wagon is not scheduled this week, and order banks are closed for that as well. 23 model year Transit, so they're scheduled for the week of October 23rd. So any dealer has an allocation. Again, we're still working off of August allocations. Order banks are closed for 23 Transit, including the Transit Trail. Stock ones can be put in. They're looking for BEV orders. That's your E-Transit. Some of the things to remember, that 3.5 EcoBoost engine that's been a constraint, that is for retails only. So what they're looking for there, that's going to get carried over to next year. Also, it says 61E, the high-res camera, temporarily available for stock orders. So, and then limited availability on the high roof jumbo bus, the high roof long bus, the medium roof crew van bus, all four-wheel drives, and then the trail package is limited availability. The vented wheel arch moldings, heavy-duty front axle, the 10-way power driver and passenger ebony leather, as well as the AM/FM stereo with the 4-inch multi-function display with the Bluetooth and USB ports. Exhausted availability and 360-degree camera. So you need to try to switch that high-res camera if you can. Balanced out completely is your power running boards, the side barn doors, all crew van body types, the Transit 350 heavy-duty dually, the chassis cabs and cutaways, and then the depopulated key fob, of course, as well. And then not available for stock orders is the 3.5 Eco, I just mentioned that, and the 360-degree camera on your for ICE. So there you go. That's that. Any questions on scheduling?
No. Well,
all right. Okay. No questions?
do we know when Ford is releasing Explorer with 360 camera?
Right now you have to remove that. So no 360 camera right now. So yeah, Ford's removing that. They're having issues with that. So
All right. That's pretty much it.
And I don't know if that's going to be retrofitted. I cannot remember if it's like when it comes in, if it can be retrofitted or not. So yeah. So anyway. All right. So what is next? Dealer news updates. All right. So I need to pull out the glasses. It's a little dark in here. So when it's dark, I need my glasses. All right. So let's talk about order bank closing. The 24 Edge ST, not all of the edges, just the ST trim level is closing. In fact, today was the date. So hopefully you got yours in. You have till 8 o'clock here. So you have an hour and 15 minutes if you want to get an ST order in. There you go. So it's closing. So, and then the 23 F-150 order bank is closing on September 7th. So if you want to get that 23 F-150 order in, you got a couple of days to get that in.
Two.
Right. That's the same date as the 23 model year Explorer. They are closing for all models, all trim levels, on September 7th as well. So there you go. And then 24 model year Super Duty chassis cab Ford Pro upfit integration system removal. So I had to read this again. So I might read it word for word. Hopefully Ford doesn't care. Ford has sufficient capacity to provide Ford Pro upfit integration system on all Super Duty chassis cabs for 24 model year. So it says Ford Pro UIS, which is the upfit integration system removal option 18Y is no longer available to order. So you don't have to add the removal. So you can remove the removal from your order so it can get it put on. It says dealers should amend all retail and fleet orders that contain option 18Y option to remove the option before September 7th. And it does say this last note, 24 model year chassis cab retail orders ordered with option 18Y, which is removal prior to August 30th, will be eligible for a $400 private offer, even though they could take it off. So I don't understand that, but that's what it reads. All right. Those are dealer news updates, except I do want to talk about some different, at the beginning of every month, a lot of times they will do some changes to some order guides if they notice something wrong or they need to update or something's not available anymore. So there are 3 different order guides that were updated on the 1st. So talk about them. First one on the Bronco Sport. So on the Bronco Sport, Cactus Gray is now available on the freewheeling series. Well, you can't get freewheeling yet, but when you can get Cactus Gray. Also, the illuminated door entry keypad has been added as a DIO on all series. They deleted Iconic Silver. Iconic Silver is not available now on the Bronco Sport. Still available on Maverick. All right. And then deleted the security code keyless entry keypad. So they removed it as an option, which I thought that was actually at the launch. But something I noticed as I went through the pages, because usually they let us know, here's what pages that are different. So I went through and compared those to the order guide right before this, word for word on everything. And I noticed on the freewheeling edition that it now says door handles Iconic Silver. So that's really weird. I've never seen them do that. So I don't know. So I think the door handles might be Iconic Silver. If that's wrong, then they need to correct their correction. All right. Maverick. A change to the Maverick is on the FX4 off-road package. The order guide had said before that if you order the FX4 off-road package, you had to have the 4K tow package as well. Now you do not. So if you have an FX4 off-road package and you didn't want the 4K tow package to begin with, you can now remove it from your order. So if you're a priority 2, you need to change it at a priority 2 to do that. Oh, my computer's almost dying.
Oh.
Can you
plug it in?
Plug it in. It's right there. Hopefully it'll reach. Oh, it won't reach. We can scoot over. Okay. Smooth this. Let me know when it's
there.
Right there. Shift. Okay. Things that happen when you're live. Oh, we got to move the little book back over.
Oh my gosh.
It's still not working. Okay.
Well, that's because
I will just lean down on it like this the whole time. All right. So yes, you can do that. Now, also on the Expedition, they removed the dual headrest rear entertainment system for the Expedition. So no longer getting that. So we need to hold on my camera. You need to slide over.
I need to slide over?
This way.
All right.
Oh, there, we just need the fat part of that. Okay. All right, there we go. So that is that. And I didn't put up the little screen thing. So now it'll be hard for us to find that. All right. What else? Now we're ready for recalls.
Recalls.
All right, let's go on to that.
To the screen.
Okay. Only a couple updates to recalls and one other that's not really a recall. This one has to do with 2015 to 2017 Mustangs. This is actually a supplement to Safety Recall 22S06. Supplement means they added something to it. So on this and here, they actually, I should have read this before we did this. I guess they just updated the labor allowances that Ford gives the technicians. So I guess that's all that's been added. So nothing else has been added to that recall. So disregard that. Anyway, okay. This other one is on the 23 model year Bronco Sport. This is for missing floor mats. So this is actually not like a recall, but it's an application performance upgrade is what they say. 23G is in George, Jeffrey, our Jeffrey is G, or Garage. How about 01? So this is for people missing floor mats. So if your vehicle was built between January 12th, 2023 through March 30th, 2023, 12,565 sets of floor mats need to go out.
Okay. How many?
It's a lot of floor mats. 12,565 vehicles affected.
I actually did have a question about that the other day.
So it says this could be performed through August 31st, 2026 to get your floor mats or a maximum of 36,000 miles. So there you go. Whichever comes first. If your vehicle already has accumulated more than 36,000 miles, this coverage will last through August 31st, 2024. So
it wouldn't be whichever occurs first. Because if you hit 36,000 miles, it's not null and void.
Well, they're saying though, if you already hit it, then they'll give you a year.
Okay.
To go in and get it. Anyway, so there you go. Carpeted mats were supposed to go out. A lot of vehicles got them without them. That plant was having issues with that on the Maverick as well. We've had kind of a recall on that too. So anyway, letters will go out the week of September 18th to let those customers know that their vehicle's affected, so they can get that done. I think they go into their dealer, and the dealer will get them for them. This other one is a new safety recall. 23S, as in safety, 49. This is for certain 23 model year F250s and 350s with the 10.5-inch axle shaft. The left axle shaft failure at the flange. All right. Man, I just had like friends go through my mind when I said flange. The only one. All right. Anyway, in some of the affected vehicles, the left rear axle shaft was manufactured without proper completion of the heat treatment process, which may cause the left rear axle shaft to break. A broken rear axle shaft, I think we know, is a bit of a problem, right? It could result in a loss of motive power and the inability to hold the vehicle in park. If the parking brake is not applied, this could result in an unintended vehicle movement, increasing the risk of injury or crash. All I had to hear that something's breaking, and I know it's bad. You don't need to give me the specifics. You really don't. Anyway, so dealers are anyway, it tells you what they need to do. Letters are going out on the week of October 16th. So there's 41,477 vehicles affected by this. So this is, you know how we said they were trying to roll things out slowly, so that because they didn't want to have any issues, this is an issue. So they don't like having. So even though they rolled them out slow, they still had 41,477 vehicles that had this happen. So anyway, there you go. Recalls. All right, we done with the live stream?
Are you hungry?
I was just joking. There you go. I don't want to. Anyway. All right.
Oh, I get what you mean.
So, ready for, is it true?
Yeah.
All right. For Is It True this week, thanks to Amy. We met at Carlisle.
Yes.
She was
Mav.
Yes, Mav. She sent me an article, which I don't have it linked, but where the article mentions that Maverick order holders will receive an extra $3,000 up to or around $3,000 for having to wait for the Mavericks. But you know what? That's still not plugged in.
What?
Did it come out somewhere? It might have come out in the wall.
I'll go check.
We definitely don't need this to go die on us. Like, wait a minute, it's still dark.
I'm in there.
Oh yeah, that's true. Pull that out.
It's plugged in. No, it was charging.
There. Now it is. Okay.
It was charging before.
I saw the little flag. I saw the little leaf.
It was
the
charging.
leaf. I saw the leaf and it got dim. All right. She didn't believe me. It was. She wiggled it in the outlet and made it work. Like I said, we're in a hotel room and we got a very cheap motel room. So
Gremlin keeps on liking it. Very may will be.
It's not a hotel.
I now have it pulled open.
It's not a hotel room we're staying in. It's a motel. just saying, all we got to do, we just need some rest and we're back on the road. All right. Anyway, okay. So, yes, this article mentions that customers that have been waiting for their Maverick are supposed to get $3,000. And so this article just came out. So people are wondering, is that different than the private offer? Am I going to be getting, $3,000 because I've been waiting? No. So what that is the transition private offer from 22 to 23 model year. That's nothing new. That's nothing that's come out. That's at 27. They rounded up. That's the 2750 for the hybrid private offer. That's what that is. So no surprise here. If you had a 22 to 23, you'll have that email or you'll have the notification for that private offer. If you had a 23 model year and you have a 23 that's been scheduled, that's coming in. Some of you already received these vehicles, or at 1750 on the EcoBoost. So this is not. I would say it's true, but it's not true in a sense that I think customers are thinking that it's a new private offer and it's not. So. I'm like no longer in the middle. Okay. All right. So there you go. All right. You ready?
Yeah. Now.
All right.
I will say, as we're getting into this, we have had a few of the employees, UAW employees in here.
Oh, okay.
From Dearborn and a few other places. One was aerospace.
Yeah.
So.
Well, cool. All right.
I've been chatting with them. They've been giving some insights to us in here.
Oh, well, maybe you should talk on this subject.
No. No. You've done all the research. I can just give you what he told me from his point of view.
So a lot of people have been in there or have been asking me to talk about this, and I haven't really, talked a lot about it because I really haven't paid attention to too much. I know that, the strike is I think the deadline is coming up, on the 15th, I think.
Yes.
So in 10 days, and I know that it seems like to me, I guess where I was coming from the Ford side of things, it seems to me when we were at the dealer meeting, Bill Ford and Jim Farley both said, we're going to make things right. We're going to come to an agreement. We feel comfortable. They've had some other, like Bill Ford says, he's been through a lot of these where they've come to the table and they've come to an agreement.
914.
And he feels like 914. Okay. So he feels like that's going to happen again. He says, I've worked with the UAW for years, and a lot of them that are there on their committee or whatever, their staff that he's real good friends with, and that they become friends over the years. And so he feels like that they're going to come to an agreement. I will say this: Ford was one of the first ones that is actually talking them back and forth and giving offers. Right, and giving contract upgrades and giving them, I think, better than the others are, from what I understand. Now we've got to the agreement, and for those that maybe aren't aware, that, and if I won't probably be exactly right on all this. So, it sounds like what's happening is that Ford and the big three have had record years, right? Big profit years lately, right? And they're not really sharing it with the UAW and their employees at the factory. And they haven't really changed any of their salaries or their the benefits and such from the profits. So they're not seeing the impact. So the headquarters, they're seeing all the profit years, and you're seeing this, the CEO and such getting this money, and they want it too. I mean, it's the same thing. I kind of look at it. I'm trying to compare that to. I always like to try to help people understand by using another way of looking at it. Like I've used sometimes, a private offer is like a coupon, that type of thing. It's good during this period, that kind of thing. I'm trying to do the same thing with this. Is that this would be similar to at the dealership level if my BDC or myself generates a lot of sales, it generates a lot of leads that result in sales. And I feel like I should get a part of that. I've helped because everybody helps to make this successful. And those workers are building the vehicles. You guys, which is good. They're in here, and maybe this is the first time they've been in our chat. Are there a lot of them that are new our channel.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of them are new to the channel. So what we do here, you guys, if you've been watching so far, is that we talk about scheduling information and impact and constraints and such at the factory level, so they can kind of have a clue of how to get their vehicle faster. So some of these people, if you're in here, some of these people have been waiting a year for their Maverick. They've been waiting 6 months or more. Some of them they put in a 22 model year order and still don't have their Maverick yet. So a lot of these people have been waiting a long time, and it's not because of the factory workers.
No,
it's supply.
Yes.
And it's not. And so we value a lot of you. I mean, I bought a lot of Ford vehicles, and I value the Ford workers. We got a chance to tour the Chicago plant. I won't say which one because we might get in trouble. So we got a chance to tour one of those plants, and we saw the workers in there and what they're doing. So we value what they do, just like hopefully they value what we do, because if it wasn't for, us and for Ford making great products and for us selling that to our customers and taking orders and putting in orders and needing vehicles for our lot, then the workers wouldn't have as much to do as well, so go ahead.
So he was talking, that the raise that they're asking for is a lot of money. Where we live, you would be in the top 10%. You would be high class.
Yeah.
I was like, but wait. We have to think about what is the living situation in these places where these plants are at. For us, our living expenses are a lot lower than the metropolitan areas or the metro areas. And so we were looking it up, and like in Detroit, your living expenses are like 2 to 3 times more than ours.
Yep. And
so we would actually be very, very low class where you live. Yep. So I don't think people get that concept that you might be low class where you are because you are not getting paid as much as some of the other people in your area. Mm-hmm. Your living expenses are different than other people's. Yep. One of them said, he's like, we want to be able to purchase the vehicles that we build. He's like, some of us can't even purchase the vehicles that we are building for others.
I was about to say that. That's one of Ford's big thing was that they wanted to build vehicles that their own workers could purchase. Yeah. Right. And afford, that they could afford. So they wanted to give them a fair living and a fair, salary so that they could buy the vehicles that they make, So if you're out there making a GTD,
yes.
Anyway, yeah. So, but that is true. I mean, all kidding aside, but so yes, I mean, I looked at it and go, wow, that salary in Salina, Kansas would be like you're upper class in Salina, Kansas if you're making bank. I think the offer that Ford had was, I think it was 92,000 the first year, 98,000 the second or something. And like I said, that would be upper class in Salina, Kansas. Yeah. But our cost of living is much lower than it is where these people
We looked at the rent costs, what you need to pay in bills and food and all of that. And it's just, it's not, like I said, your living costs are 2 to 3 times more than ours. He says the current contract has the Ford UA worker making $9 less an hour compared to wages in 2007.
Oh.
So when you look at that, he says, GB, he's a map worker.
Okay, where they make the Bronco.
Yeah,
and the Ranger.
Home of the Bronco. Yep. He says Ford wants to offer UAW a $2.92 raise over 4 years. And that's what they have offered. So, and I know some of the factories around where we live, Lebo was working at one, Solomon Corp, and they told him you'll get a 20-cent raise every year. 20 cents a year. Of course, he was making more than he was making originally, but he also had to pay higher for his health insurance and other things. So 20 cents a year, that he's like, I'm getting nowhere. So I get that. I get $292 is not a lot in that time. You're looking for a little bit more.
Yeah.
So,
which I think it's good, and this is exactly what I wanted. Was not necessarily that I had any answers, but the biggest thing is how would it affect your vehicles. So some of you have, like I said, have Mavericks you've been waiting on for a year that are on order. Some of you have some scheduled build dates that are in that time window when the strike would happen. So how would that affect your vehicle? And I want to talk about that, but I do like that they jumped in here because I want to get their opinion. I want to get their of what's happening. This is great.
We appreciate having the workers in here and people from other Ford areas coming in here, because we only see the dealership level of Ford. We don't get to see your level. We don't get to see what you're experiencing or any of that. So for us, we want to, be able to talk to you and really
that we can do anything on the dealer level.
but we can talk to you and let people know and get the stories out and really get to know what's going on for you guys.
Yeah. And hopefully Ford doesn't get mad. It's because we are a dealer channel. Even though we are, our channel is, not many dealers have a channel like us that has a live stream. I think we're the only dealer that has a live stream that tells you, tells people these different things about scheduling and production and different things like that, which is rare and haven't been shut down yet. but I know that, they want to try to be fair. I think, from our side, what we're hearing, we're kind of in between, really, because we're just hearing what Ford's telling us and such. Of course, they're putting things out there. I think most of it is true of what they're offering, but at least it looks like Ford is at least negotiating. Yeah. But the others, I think, are still there.
So, and maybe you can answer this, GB. He said, please don't forget that Maverick is built in Mexico. Mexico Ford workers are not UA employees, so UAW strike will not affect Maverick orders. But
what about the
batteries?
Batteries, engines, and the motors are still made.
And other parts, are those made by UAW employees? Because then it would affect production. They wouldn't have the parts.
And that's the question. I don't know the answer.
We don't. And so now, we're glad you're here.
And maybe
if you do,
and maybe where the motors are made and the batteries are made are not made by UAW workers. And if not, then it wouldn't affect your Maverick and your Mach-E and your Bronco Sport, but affect the vehicles made in America. But we actually mentioned that last week a little bit. People asked about how it would affect the Maverick, and we said, well, not initially, because the plant is in Mexico, so they are not UAW workers. But would it affect the parts that are made at U.S. plants, like the motors and the batteries? Yeah. So that's the question.
When you're looking at what the UAW wants, it wants a higher raise and everything. When you think about the full bulk sum, it sounds like a big number, but when you he broke it down, that's $292 for 2 years, over 2 years. When you break it down like that, that's not a lot.
No.
That is not a lot. So when you sometimes you have to break down those numbers and go, okay, so what are they really offering here? And that's probably what the UAW is doing. They're breaking it down.
Yeah.
So, but we're not going either way. We wanted to do this, have conversation with you guys. Hear what you guys think.
Yep. And the other thing is, we know that once they do strike, it will affect it, because then there's nobody making the vehicles, right? If they're striking, unless they're not a UAW employee now, and that's something I don't know a lot about, because I haven't really researched or gone into this. But I guess that's the other question is, are all of the factory workers at the plants, the assembly plants, are they all UAW workers, or are some of them not? So will some production continue if they go on strike, or will we completely be shut down?
Yes.
Right. And Ford's going to lose a lot of, all of them, all the big threes, if they're on strike and there's nobody assembling vehicles, that is going to affect them. That's going to hurt, tremendously. I recommend all of you, Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, he had a really good discussion about this last week.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wasn't going to talk about this, but what I wanted to do is get, because I'm not necessarily for or against UAW. I've never been in a union, but, I've worked in a different job, area where I work for the dealer. But yes, I having them help you guys fight for your for good wages is what that's all about. So, So there you go.
So GB says, if the Maverick engine is made at a UAW plant, then if that engine plant did strike, then it could affect it. But as for the manufacturing of the vehicle, it won't affect it because they are not UAW. And then he says, traditionally, not all UAW plants will strike at the same time, only specific plants. So
F-150 would be a big one because there's a lot of trucks not being built. And that is, I mean, I'll tell you one thing, Ford does not want to lose control of number one in the F-Series in the truck, right? They're the number one selling vehicle for 47 years in a row. They do not want to lose that. Of course, if they do, we know that the other plants, the Chevy plants, will be affected too. But yeah, so definitely. So there you go.
Economists have estimated that if the big three all struck at the same time, it would cost the auto industry over $3 billion in 10 days.
Yeah, I saw, I didn't get the exact number, but I saw they were talking about how much it could affect. It was in the billions of dollars. So definitely, I mean, and we know that, like, I think Johnny had mentioned last week, again, I recommend you watch his live stream from last week where he talked about this. And I think he breaks this down in sessions like we do as well, if you could find it. But he really kind of talked about it in a little bit better. He's a little more educated on it than I am. And it was pretty good. But yeah, they were talking about it, that I think they have enough money in the UAW that it could afford the people to go on strike for 45 days. Right. After 45 days, then they lose, then they have, they will not going to be able to provide them with wages for them to strike. So, and within, I mean, it's not going to take, them long before they come up with something. So hopefully something happens in the next 10 days or 9 days now for you guys, as well as for the Ford and for the people that have orders. Cause that's, I mean, a lot of these people are like, finally got mine scheduled. I've been waiting a year and now it might not even get built because, right. So, I know that the people that have orders in, I know they're like, they don't want the strike, but and they're fighting for you. They're like, come on, Ford, you got to make this right.
But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of people in our live stream saying my vehicle is scheduled to be built right as the strike is supposed, or right at that deadline. But if it takes you guys getting your pay raise, go for it.
Yeah,
I'll wait. I waited this long. I can wait a little bit longer.
So, because I mean, everybody wants to be paid fairly, right?
Yeah.
What they deserve and what they, you see these people making a lot of money and then, record profits and they're not sharing it. I get that. So definitely. So.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Well, great discussion. I'm glad. Thank you for those that are from the UAW joining. That I'm actually honored that you came over. Never watched our live stream before. Some of you, I'm honored that you're here. So thank you.
We appreciate your input, very much so. Tim, all U.S. plants have 100% UAW workforce, excluding management. Yep.
Okay.
But we appreciate you.
Definitely stop the production then once that happens.
We appreciate you all coming in. We knew that some of our viewers are factory workers.
We've had several.
And so, we've had several people email us in the past, but we appreciate you guys coming in and telling us your side and giving us some of the facts that you know that we don't know. And
if you want to email me your contact information, tell me what plant you're at, you can give me any insider information. I'd love that.
Yes.
But we won't tell Ford that you tell. We never let them know.
You're anonymous.
I have a couple that actually do give me some information of when things are happening, and I don't usually mention on here, but having the information is kind of nice to know. But anyway, if you want.
Yes.
Timothy Bartz at McArthur.com. Plugging it. But hopefully you guys get treated right and get everything you need and get it all worked out. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, Ford's all the big three are making profit money. It's funny. It's not just one manufacturer. They're all getting more. And so, which isn't, important. And I think, part of it is because, they're raising the price on all these vehicles. That's what it is they're raising the prices.
And the union is saying, wait a second, we haven't gotten a pay raise. In fact, we're now lower than we were before. What's going on?
The only question I have is if course, they get paid what they deserve and they get paid more. How will that affect our prices of the vehicles? So it's crazy. I don't know, but hopefully it all works out. And like I always say at the end, we're not ending the live stream here, but like I always say at the end, stay positive, be kind to one another, right? And that's, we talk about that. And so we'll just let's stay positive. And usually, and the reason we always end it that way is because a lot of you have had orders for a while. So, continue to keep that positivity and let's keep going and holding there. I know a lot of you have said that's the live stream that's going to help them get through things and the weight and everything because of letting you know, hey, here's what, if you try this, maybe you can get scheduled and get produced faster. And hopefully everything works out. We had the railroad strike that was looming over us. Was that just last year or the year before? And we thought they were going to go on strike and then we wouldn't get the vehicles that were made transported to the dealers, right? And that was going to happen. And that didn't end up, they worked that out. So, so hopefully it all gets worked out. So, and so everybody, UAW workers get paid what they need and they keep going, getting production done and get going. So anyway, all right. Awesome stuff. Do we have any questions? We're kind of ready for the Q&A part of that.
All right, on to our Q&A. If you have a question, please put at Sarah Davis. That tags me, so that way we can get you tagged.
So we can see your question. So at Sarah Davis, and tags her so we can see it. It doesn't with or without the space. All right. Because I thought it was always you had to put exactly the space in and everything, but you don't. Okay. At Sarah Davis with an H. There you go. Okay. You got some questions in there?
I do.
A few questions.
20. This question is for the future. Do you have alternative ideas for a better Maverick upper tailgate molding? Mine has minor gouges and it's part of using the bed for the truck for things. I think I did see Nels answering that.
Okay.
But I wanted to throw it up on the screen in case he didn't, so that way I can.
We're talking about the molding that goes on the bed.
Yeah.
Itself. Should be able to get those through parts if you need to just replace it all together. The reason they do the molding is that instead of not having a molding like the old Ranger used to have, is that then you can easily replace that easily than a new body panel, right? So. Same way on the bottom moldings.
Yeah. Did anyone see a price increase in the Maverick? The build page shows more than my Dora.
Question is your Dora, are we talking about 23 or 24?
Right.
Because I believe you have a 23 order that's scheduled, not a 24. So what's in there is the 24 pricing, which has gone up. So if you're looking at compared to 23, then it will be a different price.
My Maverick has been in Detroit since July 17th off the train. ETA has changed 5 times. Dealer has no idea and can't get anything from Ford. As long as they change the date, it's not late according to Ford. We have seen that before.
Yeah, until the ETA expires, they won't ever give you an update. They won't update it until it expires. Yep.
He had that problem with his Expedition.
Yep.
Our owner had a problem with one of his trucks. We had one with a Maverick. It unfortunately happens. It's not with every vehicle, but it does happen. And
it's been in Detroit. Question is, where is it going? July 17th is a long time.
So I wonder if it has like a dead battery or.
I've had things where if it's got a dead battery, they just move on to the next one and they just keep doing that and doing that and doing that. Your dealer is going to probably need to call the head of your region and get something. And so they can actually go have somebody put their hands on it and see what's going on. So, yep.
All right. We have top secret vid. Will there be a 2-door Bronco Raptor?
2-door Bronco Raptor? Probably not.
Yep. See, and here's the other one that was in there earlier. He said, we don't want to strike, but we will if we have to. He's sorry for any delay in the vehicle, but most of us can't even buy the vehicle we make.
Yeah.
So if I make a Ranger order from the dealer, will I get a confirmation email from Ford if the dealer doesn't have an allocation?
Yep. Placing your order in the order bank will get you an email.
Yes.
It lets you know the order's in there. If they don't have an allocation, it won't get scheduled.
Right.
It'll just sit in the order bank.
Yes, and you should get an email every 45 days, not if they don't have allocations. Ford doesn't let you know about that.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn says, I know things have changed, but what all does VinView show you? Rail car number, question mark.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it does tell us, doesn't it?
I think
Rail car
so.
number? I think so.
So, if anyone's looking for a hard-sided pop-up camper for their Maverick, I just got an email from Hiatus Campers that they will make one for Maverick. I'm super excited.
So looking for a vehicle to be there.
Beta.
Yes.
All right. Sarah and Tim enjoy Colorado. I would like to meet up with you. However, I will be traveling to Kansas City tomorrow. I'll stop by and say hello to Derek Stidham. I'll catch up with you another time.
Oh.
Going opposite ways.
Yeah.
All right. Does Tim have a walk-around video on the 23 Escape? I'm curious how the radio might look if they put it in the 25 Maverick. Don't know about that.
Oh. Okay, so I've done some videos that you can see on the Build and Price on Ford's website. Well, and we've done some from the auto show.
Yes.
That New York auto show, right?
No, those were 23s.
Yeah. So you might check our auto show.
I
We did someone Escape on both.
I think the only one where we went inside, because most of them were locked up because they were pre-production. I think the only one that we were able to get inside of was New York.
So basically, you're getting two like 13-inch screens. So in the center stack screen, it's like a big 13-inch screen, and then the one in the middle. So they almost like two screens, almost like what the Mustang looks like.
Yes.
So anyway.
Alrighty.
I haven't done one on a vehicle on a lot. I've been meaning to, but.
Mm-hmm. When is Air Design releasing the side panel like on Tim's trimmer? I would like to order one.
They said it'll be ready for 24 model year, so probably by the time some of the 24 start showing to dealers.
Okay.
So, but they didn't. I don't have the direct contact there, but Blake might be able to find out that information.
Yeah. All right. Why is 24 Ranger scheduling slipping out?
Because they keep delaying the launch. Like they keep delaying because like they're supposed to start building next week. See if that happens. But they're supposed to start building next week, and they keep moving it. Originally, it was like the middle of August, and then they keep moving it back. So since they have those orders, they've just been shifting those orders back. So because of that, they don't need to schedule. If that makes sense. So because they normally schedule 2 months in advance, and they've been doing that for a while. So now they've moved to Mac, so that's why they can hold off on scheduling.
All right. I ordered a 24 Ranger and was told that I'm awaiting a confirmation from Ford, advising that they will accept the bill. Does this go against the email comment you just made? No. So
no, your dealer's wrong.
Your dealer's wrong. Although it sounds like I was told that I'm awaiting a confirmation from Ford. They're saying that you're awaiting the first email from Ford confirming your order is in the order bank. That's what it sounds like.
So what they're probably talking about when they say confirmation, they're thinking that what they're thinking about is it getting scheduled. Probably. The confirmation of it getting scheduled is what they're probably talking about.
Yeah.
That's probably what they mean by accepting the build.
Yes.
So this is terminology that is incorrect on the terminology they're using. What they're probably meaning is that they're waiting on Ford to schedule it. I think with their meeting.
I've noticed that there's different terminology between the dealerships, between what area you're in. We use the terminology that Ford uses, and some dealers use more different terms.
Especially when you're talking to sales guys, half of them don't know the actual terminologies. They're just using words that make sense to them, and that doesn't really relate, right?
It's kind of like playing telephone. Ford sends out the message. It goes to the regional management. Then it gets to the dealers. Then it gets to the salesman. By the time it gets to the salesman, some of those terms are jumbled up in the brains. So that's probably what they mean.
Yeah.
All right. Let's head on back to these. Any thoughts on the F-150 exterior look since Ford Authority has pics on their site?
I'd rather reserve that for next week when I'm going to actually be at the reveal. I'm kind of
Yes.
actually mad that they're finding those and getting them out there, because I'm actually going to spend the money for 3 of us to fly to Detroit to watch the reveal in person. And I'm kind of upset that they're actually spoiling this right now.
Well,
I want to see it now. You're seeing shots, but you're not seeing all the information, which hopefully we can get you. But
yeah.
I mean,
but it kind of happened that way with Mustang. It just wasn't so soon. We got to the auto show and we were waiting for the reveal to happen, and we started getting texts going, "Hey, did you see the Mustang? Did you see the Mustang? Have you guys seen it yet?" No.
It was already out there. So yeah, I mean, and I guess,
ruin it for everyone.
For those that can't go, I mean, I get it. Hey, that's fine, but some of us,
yeah,
we want to be there for the reveal. We want to, we're going to make sure we get this content for people and everything, and we want to be able to be there. So anyway, I actually have seen the 24 in person at the dealer meeting, and I do like the look and the refresh, and there's some things coming to it as well that we can't talk about, that we'll find out next week. But
we can't talk about broadcasts and things. Sarah, is your discount on Lightning good for 24 models beginning ordering? No.
We have allocations right now that we need to fulfill.
Yes.
That's why we're doing this special, is because we have 0 orders. Well, actually, we have 1 now. We don't have any retail orders. So we'd rather have a retail order the way somebody would want it built than to do stock ones, assuming what we think people want, and then they'd be stuck with.
Yep.
This allows you to be able to order it your way and your specifications. And as long as there's not as long as there's not a strike, then having them built into you by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. That's maybe January at the latest, because a lot of these will schedule for build dates in November, I believe.
Yeah.
Or actually, they're scheduled for October now. So yeah, November build dates. So we're talking December deliveries. So it'd be a great Christmas present for you. So there you go.
All right. Is Ford committed to the Lightning with all the criticism? I believe they still are very committed.
So what they have said is that they still are going to be producing hybrid vehicles. They know that it's not only, that's the reason they divided things up, was so they could still do 2 different divisions. They could still concentrate on EV, but still keep doing gas and hybrid vehicles. So we're going to see more hybrid. A hybrid is a form of electrification. Yes. It may not be full electric, but there are people that live in Kansas and Missouri that don't want a full electric because they can't even get around. They can't go from, they can't drive around here.
No.
So they need,
they don't have a Tesla charge, or they don't have a charger in their nearest town. And even then, their nearest town might be 100 miles away.
But a hybrid is a way for them to save on fuel. Now, right now, the F-150 hybrid is not a fuel efficient. It needs to be better. But we're going to see more hybrid vehicles getting longer ranges. Yeah. And that's what they're doing. But yes, they are committed to make more Lightnings. Their goal is to have stock vehicles. And that's what's going to happen for us. If we don't get people to put in retail orders, we'll have 20 stock Lightnings on our lot, and we'll still be selling. We'll probably be doing that same deal. If they hit our lot and they're not sold, we're going to be doing that. So anyway, so yes. But we're not doing that for 24 because we have allocations now that we need to fulfill. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is get orders for the allocations that we have that need to be fulfilled the next couple of weeks, so that we can get those sold. Because I'd rather have a sold vehicle than a stock one coming in that's not sold.
Well, and someone just commented, Lightning is a top percentage range vehicle on the latest test over Tesla. So right now their range is over what Tesla has.
So little known fact, I don't know if I mentioned this before. I know I have to members, but so Tesla's range, they claim that the Y, I think it's the Model Y, their range is 330. Ford says theirs is 290. Real world testing, I think it was Car and Driver that actually tested them, and Tesla's battery range is actually 75% of what they claim it is. So they are not getting 330. Yeah. They're getting less than the Mach-E. Mach-E gets 90% of what they say their range is in real world testing. Yeah. So because of that, the Mach-E actually has a better range than the Model Y.
Yeah. Jolie Mike, you get notified by hitting the notification bell, or go to settings, I believe. I'm not sure how I set it up.
For what?
Notifications for live.
Yeah, if you hit the notification bell, then you should on your phone, if you're logged into your account on YouTube, then and you're subscribed and have
Yeah.
the notification, then you'll get a little notification in your on your phone. This shows that we're live.
Yeah. I always set an alarm.
So.
Oh, time to put the kids to bed. It's actually 8:30 there. They go to bed at 7:30. All right, on we go. Can recalls be fixed at any Ford dealer or only where it was purchased? Asking for a friend. Just kidding. Asking for me just in case.
Ford dealer. So we
Any
know
Ford
know
dealer.
that Mike McArthur's had an issue with his local dealer not wanting to do the recall.
Because he purchased from us.
Because he purchased from somebody else. But technically, that if Ford found out about that, they would. Yeah, that dealer would be in so much trouble.
Because that's a safety.
Yes, as any safety recall, that dealer has to perform that if they have the parts, or at least then get the parts and let you know when the parts arrive so that you can get it done.
Yes.
So you go to the Ford dealer, and if your local Ford dealer isn't going to do it, then you call Ford complaint line, 1-800-392-FORD, and you let them know your dealer is refusing to do your recall.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll
be a major issue.
That is a safety must-have that they need. If they are
They're required to.
If they are a certified Ford shop, they have to do those. All right. Will the 24 Raptor R be available for order?
We don't know yet. Today's broadcast, they didn't really talk about that.
Yeah. There is a complaint line, Jan. Maybe you should give it a call. Playwave says, how big of a back order on Ranger Raptors? It's hard to tell only because dealers were only given one allocation to start out with, and we don't know what we're getting after.
Yep. We're supposed to find out in fourth quarter.
We do not take bad dealers here. We only take good dealers. We like to keep it positive.
Stay positive. So, yeah, we don't easily
call people out.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a list. Don't want to talk about it. All right.
The $1 billion losses is Ford EV is a big burden on Ford that UAW raises. I'm not sure what that means.
Well, Ford's losing money on their EV line.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That might be why they're saying they can't afford to pay the work. I don't know.
Yeah. 10,000 over on what? Is it Maverick or
asking 10K over? Oh, probably. Was that the same person as a Ranger? Raptor question?
No.
So that's not uncommon on Raptors.
Yes.
If that's what we're talking about. So any Raptors, well, not F-150 Raptors a lot of times, unless they're a Raptor R. But yeah, anytime there's a Raptor is a very small, limited production run. And so it's a very small number because of all the parts, everything that goes into that and the performance of that. So because of that, typically, anytime there's a limited number, you're going to see a price increase. You're going to see them not discounting as heavily. So
now, if it's Maverick, yes, 10,000 is ridiculous. We're seeing them more about 5,000 to 2,000 over. Will I get the financing incentives in place in 22 when I ordered my Maverick from you guys?
No.
There were no financing incentives for Maverick.
There was for 22.
Oh, for 22. But we have switched model years, and they don't protect the incentives from model year to model year.
Transits are private offers are the only thing they offer from one model year to the next. So they will not carry over any incentives and such to the next model year. So if you have like those that have a 23, of course, there wasn't anything in 23 for Maverick, but if you had a 23, you get carried over to 24. The only thing Ford's going to give you is that private offer. Yeah.
Scott M, I have another person with that same question here, so I'm going to do this one. Model year 23 Maverick was pushed back from 9.4 to 9.18. If it gets pushed back into October, will it become a 24 model? So if the strike happens and it keeps pushing them back, are they going to get a 24 model, or are they still going to get the 23?
Well, they will do one of two things. They'll continue 23 production later, or they will do like they did last year, and they'll cancel that VIN number and then they'll have to reorder 24, and they'll give them priority so they can get in line in production as soon as possible.
But Ford
they had to do that last year.
But Ford will come up with a plan of action. You don't need to resubmit a 24 order.
Because they'll push it over.
Ford will handle it for you.
Yep. So that did happen last year, and so we had some because of what production dates, because they did have to push some back. They did have to do that last year, and so there were like 70,000 orders that got canceled, which is one of the reasons why there wasn't 70,000, it was 7,000 orders, which is one of the reasons why maybe we had some issues for getting everything built last year. But so what happened was they canceled those VIN numbers. They knew who they were.
Yes.
They pushed the new order into that next model year, which was 23, and then dealers, once they confirmed them, and they brought them out of priority 99. As soon as they did that, Ford gave those orders priority and got them scheduled the next month.
Yeah.
And so they got in line as quick as possible to get built. So that's what would happen if that were to be done. That's what would happen.
Yeah. So this one says, in continuation with Ranger Raptor question, what is the typical dealer markup for Ranger Raptor?
I mean, 5,000-10,000 probably. It's probably the going number right around there.
Yes.
Typically, probably 10 right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you might find a dealer out there that's gonna do MSRP, and they say, hey, no matter what, we're never gonna go over MSRP. You might find some out there, but I mean, to be honest, I mean, it is a business. I mean, any smart dealer knows. I mean, just like the Bronco Heritage Limited Editions. I mean, this week was the first, within the last 7 days, was the first time we saw the first Heritage Limited show on eBay. And, one of them started like 10 grand over MSRP on an auction. And I think they had to buy it now at 40 grand over. So, we keep our eyes on that. And the first couple, I think we're the third one on eBay on that. So it just depends on the vehicle, but you can always look at eBay and completed listings that kind of get an idea on some of those. But
I did hear one guy say that he tried to go to his local dealer and they were asking 10,000 over. And then another one said that they didn't have one. He said that was ridiculous. He was calling around and finally found one that was doing 3,000 over. Because the guy said, I don't see why it needs to be 10,000 over. I'm keeping mine at 3. I'm like, well, he must be a small dealer in a small town where people aren't checking because he still had it. Yeah. Or people are like, well, you need to make sure that you get the manager's signature and your signature on that price with a 3,000 markup, because he may decide on a markup later on when it comes in. So make sure that he is listing everything that he is planning to put on that vehicle, including the markup.
That's some of the tips I've been doing on all my complete guide videos when ordering is, hey, when you go into the dealer, ask these questions. And that's one of them, is to say, hey, when it gets here, what else are you going to add to that? What's your dealer fee, this and that? Because some of them will say, yeah, we're going to do it 3,000 over MSRP, but then we have a 15, you got to put a Pro Pack on it, or you got to put a ceramic is required, window tint's required, and all of a sudden now you have $2,000 in ads on top of that, plus your dealer fee or something. And so at that point, you could have gone with the other dealer at $5,000 over and been just as good.
Yeah.
But so, anyway, always good questions to ask.
All right. So this is going off the same question as the Maverick.
Moving back.
Yeah.
So
Tim was saying that he would go live Wednesday next week.
And I'm going to do it Tuesday night after the reveal.
He remembers it as you were going to go live Wednesday this week. And I remember that too. I was telling him, aren't we going live Wednesday? No. So it's tonight. I had the same confusion, Ragnar. All right, if I make a Ranger order from the dealer, will I get a confirmation email from Ford if the dealer doesn't have... Wait, we went over that one.
Yeah.
Okay. How do I track my 23 Maverick now that it has shipped?
Your dealer can track it for you.
Yes, because the one that Ford sends out to you is not always reliable. So
once they say it's been shipped, they can't, you're going to be able to track it, but your dealer can always look at it at any time and tell you where it's at. Mm-hmm. They'll show it on they could see it going on the rail to different places.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I will say, once it's actually got on the rail, 4 weeks is pretty accurate
Yes.
anymore, unless somebody had theirs held up in Detroit for months.
Yeah.
So it's 99% of the time 4 weeks.
All right. Hey guys, when do you think the order guide for 24 Lightning will release?
Don't know.
All
They
right.
haven't told us anything.
Have a good rest of your trip, Tim and Sarah, and at the reveal next week. He's gonna head out soon.
All right.
All right. I know he's an hour later than this, so it's 9:40 his time.
Yep.
When does the 24 Lightning order bank open?
We don't know if that's going to go in line with the regular F-150. They actually didn't talk about that in the broadcast, right?
No.
You listen. I was driving.
They did not talk about Lightning.
So they didn't. I don't know if it's going to go along with F-150. They really need to separate those out. I think just like they are with mach-e. But anyway, we don't know for sure yet.
All right. Do you guys know what the 24 Ranger FX4 off-road tune suspension will consist of exactly? Does it have aftermarket components, additional ground clearance, etc.?
Okay. I think I actually have gone over that in my Ranger videos of all the different things that are included in that. So I know you get off-road tune suspension, so different shocks. You get skid plates underneath, extra cooling typically for your radiator. Sometimes a larger radiator because you're going off-road and such, and that engine needs to just cool off better.
Now the
you usually get your screen usually has the off-road where it shows your pitch and everything.
As for aftermarket components, aftermarket term usually in the world that we live in, the dealer world, means that it is being sold after your vehicle is sold to you or after it's come into the dealer. So the components are from factory. So if you want to add anything on after it gets to you, that is an aftermarket.
Like a lift, like a level or something like that would be an aftermarket add.
Yes.
That's not from the factory. But anyway, I think I covered most of them. But yes, I've done some video. If you go to my Ranger like XLT videos for 24, I actually go over the FX4 off-road package and what's included.
And there's a timestamp.
Yeah. She edits them, most of them.
Try and get those timestamps. MAP is still in the early stages of Ranger launch. No Rangers already produced are for retail orders yet. Soon, hopefully. So
they're making some, and some of those will end up being crushed. Some will be given to journalists to drive and to give impressions of and such. And you can send me one for if you want. And I'll do impression.
Yeah.
They won't. Anyway. We're kind of in that middle ground where, I get media passes for a lot of shows,
that dealer has no
Ford doesn't
control
look
over.
as media. So, well, anyway.
Yeah.
So,
all
right.
Is there a way to find out which dealers have allocations? Ranger, Raptor, no.
So right now, every dealer is supposed to know that they get one. Every dealer gets one to start with. We don't know after that.
It's their choice whether or not, because that's a stock unit order.
No, they can put in as a retail.
But they can have the choice of not not giving it a specific person and using it as a stock unit and putting it on their lot.
Yes, we could. Yes.
So
if we know somebody that wants one and we're like, hey, here's what we're going to sell it for, and they want to buy it, then we put it in as a retail order to their specifications.
Yes.
But otherwise, if we don't have anybody that's come forward at the price we think it's worth, then
we build it out.
Then we build it out as a stock, and and that's how it gets built. So.
Yes. All right. The second part of that, would it be a website error that is showing in production a week early compared to a scheduled week?
Okay, so if yours says it's gone into production and your production week is like next week, that's not a flaw. That's actually we have people in here from the factory could probably tell us how that works, but they need the information on that build before that week, because they don't need to go, okay, well, where's that one here? No, they need them all ready. So they consider that going into production when usually a week before. So that way the factory has everything they need. So they make sure they have all the parts on hand that they need and ready to go for each of the different builds that are going to be built that day. Mm-hmm. And so that's called going in production. So that makes sense.
All right. Did McArthur get any allocations this week for MAV? And do you know the number for next week?
So they're still working off August allocations this week. So we used all of ours last week because we have enough orders that we don't need to fill in any cleanup, because we have enough orders of every configuration that Ford's needing for the Maverick, because we have 300 and some orders. So yeah, so all of ours are always used that first week. So
the dealers
which was
that get their allocations scheduled throughout the month, some here, some there, they usually don't have a full range of enough orders to fulfill everything that first week. They have to fulfill what they can and then look back and go, okay, what else can we schedule from what they have? So
for instance, this is a great way of looking at this. The first week that what they scheduled all EcoBoost. So we had 22 allocations, and every single one of ours were EcoBoost orders. So if we were a dealer that has a small amount of orders and everything we had was hybrid, then we wouldn't have scheduled our allocations that week because we didn't have an EcoBoost order. So then the next week, when they actually, the second week they scheduled hybrids, then those would have been used that week because they had a hybrid order.
Yes.
That makes sense. So it depends on what they're looking to schedule on those given weeks.
Yep. So this is our last question. If I have not answered your question, I may have missed it while talking or doing something. Please drop it in there again with @SarahDavis. That's Sarah with an H. We transferred our 23 Bronco Heritage to a 24 model year, and we just got scheduled for 23. What's going on with 24?
You'll cancel that order.
Right. So basically, your dealer was told to leave the 23 in there and order a 24.
So it doesn't carry over. It stays in there.
It stays in there because in the past, yes, Bronco, they would just transfer the order and there was no confusion. But this year, they went ahead and did it like Maverick, where they were asked to place a brand new order. And so your 23 was still in there. So yes, you could get a 23 scheduled still because they are still scheduling the Heritage.
And they're extending the Bronco. I mentioned that last week. Is they're going to produce Bronco into December to help with Ranger get launched. And so they're not switching that over to 24 until December. Yes. So that's probably how yours got scheduled. I'm glad you got scheduled. I wonder if that was just recent. But
so let your dealer know too, if they haven't already, cancel that 24.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have two coming in.
Yep. So yeah, that's how that'll work. So you're going to get your 23.
All right. I'm not seeing any questions. Any questions?
I appreciate you joining us, especially those that work in the factories. We love having your guys' input and your guys' information so that you can share. We know sometimes you guys can't share some information, and we understand that, respect that. I know there's sometimes information that I know that I can't share either, and I'm respectful of that to Ford. But so
we try to make this a safe community for people to share their opinions and make this an open area for discussion.
Positively. We like to don't like to be negative. Yes. So here,
keep it positive. So we like to make it a positive, safe environment for discussion.
This is all about helping people and educate them on the process and to help them figure out how to get their vehicle as fast as possible when ordering was a new thing. Not really, it wasn't a new thing, but a lot of people didn't realize it. And when people want to place in orders for these new models, So there you go.
All right. Mom's been in here.
Yep. She was in here earlier. I saw that earlier when we were talking about our UAW stuff. So, but there you go. Happy birthday yesterday.
Mother Bart's is the best. All right. I placed my 24 order in last week, and the dealer says it'll be ready around December. How likely is that it will actually be ready by then?
Well, if they don't have any allocation or if they don't have any orders, could be a possibility. Yes. I mean, if they're a smaller dealer, and they didn't have any to carry over, and they were needing, like for us, one Lightnings, right? We need Lightning orders. We're getting allocations. They may have an allocation they know coming next month, but otherwise, like it could take longer. There's no way of really knowing for sure. Yes. December. So for instance, for you to get it in December, then that means it would have to be scheduled, have a production week in November.
Yep.
So that means it would have to schedule this next month.
Yep.
So it's going to be scheduling in the month of September for build date in November for you to get in December.
Yep.
That makes sense of the process. So
all right.
I don't see it happening, but that's just my opinion and my experience. So, all right. Anything else?
Right. this one said, my 24 Maverick hybrid black appearance package scheduled within 13 days of ordering October 23rd.
So you're at a dealer that probably didn't have any carryovers.
Or you were a carryover order. Because he didn't say if he was
Whether or not he
carried over.
So
either you were a carryover order or your dealer didn't have any rollovers to get scheduled.
We've seen some people complaining that, hey, I'm seeing people with a brand new order for this year that are getting scheduled and mine's still not. And that can happen if they're at a dealer that didn't have carryover orders.
Yep.
Then
or they don't have any orders that are configured, like any of their rollover orders are configured in a way that Ford can allocate to them.
Even though it's a priority too.
By that point, then they have to go with something that they can allocate to.
Yep, that's possible. That's another situation. So again, the first thing that looks for an order to be fulfilled, the first thing that's looked at is the configuration that they're looking to schedule for. Second is the priority number, and third is the order date.
Yes.
So if you have a configuration and you're the only order at your dealership with a configuration they're looking to schedule for, especially during the cleanup stuff, and you're a higher priority than maybe there's two orders that are the same, but you have a priority 3 and theirs is a priority 4, then yours should be looking to get scheduled before theirs.
Yep.
That's how that works.
So, all right. I think that is all.
All right. If you want to highlight that.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, if nothing else, thank you guys very much. I was hoping to keep it to 2 hours, and we're just under that. So Sarah and I go get something to eat here.
Yes.
And all right. Well, thanks everybody. A great discussion. Again, I didn't have a lot of insight on UAW because of education there, but yes, if they go on strike, it will affect the production of the vehicles. Which is the thing, and so hopefully that all works out. And I loved getting input from the workers in there. So thank you for joining us. Hopefully come back and come back again. And especially for you that are there, that you can clue some of us in and some of the customers. I've learned a lot, and I've been learning more from that level. And just from the past, being a dealer for 22 years, but having your insight is nice. Mm-hmm. So getting that information, actually, some of the things we've shared here is from people that have been there saying, well, a vehicle, like for instance, we knew that there's an option that's a constraint, not because that you can't get the supply, but it takes longer to build that. So because of that, they can only do so many. Mm-hmm. And so we've learned that from people that are at the factory. So it's always good to get that information. So thank you for joining us. So, and thank the rest of you as well for joining us. Yes. And hopefully you guys get your orders as soon as possible. And hopefully there isn't a strike. They settle and everybody's happy. And I know they want to be working and they want to be making money for their households and their families so they can have a fair living, so they can buy a vehicle just like you guys are, that they build, which is kind of cool, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We ready?
Yes.
Hold on. Let me get ready over here. All right. Well, thank you guys very much. Don't forget to stay positive, be kind to one another,
and be kind to yourselves.
And we'll see you in the next video.